You guys are the main ones hollering, trust the science, trust the science. And then real data come out, when real statistics come out, hardcore evidence come out, all of a sudden you don't want the American people to know because you think that somebody's going to weaponize the truth. Weaponize the truth? Really? I'm gonna just throw this in here real quick. It seemed like I'm averaging like anywhere from 200 to 300 thumbs up buttons, but it makes no sense when I'm having like 17,000 some odd views. So make sure y'all get the thumbs up out there, folks, okay? We really appreciate it if you guys did that. Last but not least, double check and make sure that you still are subscribed to the channel because people are being mysteriously unsubscribed to the channel. So ladies and gentlemen, I have to bring some things to your attention because of course, being in medicine, I always keep my eye out for medicinal things that are going on out there in the world. And this one right here is something that I feel everybody should know. And it's a big, huge cover up right here. And this doctor, should be ashamed of herself for doing this right here. What am I talking about? This. Woke doctor refused to publish $10 million trans kid study that showed puberty blockers didn't help mental health at all. I wonder who was telling you guys this from the beginning. All this school and everything we learned when it came to pharmaceuticals and everything like that. And when I kept trying to tell people, I just gave it away, that this stuff is not going to help what's going on up in here. Did I not keep saying that? I kept saying it from the beginning, but nevertheless, let's get ready to get into this story right here a little bit, okay? Okay. Says right here, a prominent doctor and trans rights advocate admitted she deliberately withheld publication of a $10 million taxpayer-funded study on the effect of puberty blockers on American children after finding no evidence that they improved patients' mental health. Dr. Joanna Olson Kennedy told the New York Times that she believes the study would be weaponized by the critics of transgender care for kids and that the research could one day be used in court to argue we shouldn't use blockers. Yeah! Because the blockers and what these kids are going through is not the issue. Who would have thought that this medicinal stuff that they're pushing would not fix what's going on up here in these kids' heads? Who would have thought that? Let me keep on going because this type of stuff that pisses me off, and I'm glad I'm throwing it back in a lot of you crazed, lunatic, easily manipulated, and it can be far left or far right leaning that believes in this nonsense that argued me up and down. You don't know what you're talking about. You're not an expert in this field. I'm an expert in being a human being. I have a ton of experience dealing with kids that are actually having gender dysphoria issues right now in real time. Help coach them along the way to get them out of this nonsense that you guys are indoctrinating them with. And I told you that these puberty blockers won't go to work. Why? Because I kept saying, for one, you're warring against nature. Number two, you are not going to be able to fix what's going on up in here with a person on a mental level. You can do all the antidepressants you want to. I keep saying that. You can do all the goddamn inhibitors that you want to in a person's brain. You can sit there and try to make up the excuse about a chemical imbalance in the person's brain that controls their mood, all that. I get that. I understand some of that. But when it comes to you, who you are as a soul, as an individual, no. It didn't take medicine to have you like that on that mental level, and it's not going to take medicine to get you out of it. That's the whole point. They're not there to solve the issue. They're not there to solve the issue. They're there to mask it, like they try to do with these puberty blockers. Nevertheless, let's keep reading on. Critics, including one of Olson Kennedy's fellow researchers on the study, said a decision flies in the face of research standards and deprives the public of really important science in a field where Americans remain firmly divided because they don't. The reason why you will always be divided on something because you have not come to the truth. The Bible says you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. In other words, there's other publications that in the Bible that says it like this. You will have to go out and search and find the truth. And once you do, the truth will make you free. When you make a cake, it don't just happen. There's a process in making certain things that you have believed all of your life. When you are being made free, there are processes that take place before you actually are free. That's why he said it will make you free. Because certain things have to be unpeeled from your mind. Things that you believe have to be slowly or sometimes quickly, depending on how you are, can be completely unraveled quickly. And you will be made free of the delusions that you believe, a lot of y'all, all your lives. Anyway, for the National Institutes of Health funded study, researchers chose 95 kids, that's just 95, who had an average age of 11 and gave them puberty blocking drugs starting in 2015. The treatments are meant to delay the onset bodily changes like the development of breasts or the deepening of the voice. That's horrible. After following up with the youths for 2 years, the treatments did not improve the state of their mental health, which Olson Kennedy chalked up to the kids being in really good shape, both when they started and concluded the 2-year treatment. However, the Times point out that her rosy assessment contradicts earlier data recorded by the researchers, which found 1/4 of the study participants were depressed or suicidal before receiving treatment. The result also does not support the findings of the 2011 Dutch study, which is primary scientific research cited by proponents of giving kids puberty blockers. That study of 70 kids found that children treated with puberty blockers reported better mental health and fewer behavioral emotional problems. Olson Kennedy, the outlet points out, is one of the country's leading advocates for providing gender-affirming care to adolescents and regularly provides expert testimony in legal challenges to state bans on such procedures, which have taken root in more than 20 states. When asked by the Times why the results have not been made public after 9 years, she said, I don't want our work to be weaponized, adding, it has to be exactly on point, clear, and concise, and that takes time. She then flat out admitted she was afraid the lack of mental health improvements born out of the study could one day be used in court to argue we shouldn't use puberty blockers. Why wouldn't you want that? You would rather have these kids still going through the things that they're going through when it comes to depression, suicidal thoughts, all these crazy things that they have going on mentally. You wouldn't want no one to know about that, all because you were afraid it would be used in court? You don't want them because it would be weaponized? How can the truth be weaponized? No, it's just the truth made you a liar. The truth made these medicines void. The truth made the medicines non-effect. A Washington Post KFF Trans and American survey found that 68% of U.S. adults are against providing puberty blockers to trans-identifying youths ages 10 to 14, and 58% oppose hormone treatments for those ages 15 to 17. I don't understand why we're doing this anyway when there's claims and studies that they say that the brain doesn't fully mature until you're 25 years old. Why are you letting these undeveloped brains, these kids who cannot make they can't even drink. They can't even drive, most of them can. They can't even go and buy a home, get jobs and work. But you will let them make these life-altering decisions on their lives? Whoever believes in this, y'all are sick. I understand the fear about it being weaponized, but it's really important to get science there, she told the outlet. How do you understand the fear of it being weaponized? What fear is there? Weaponized like what? Like if it get like, now that I know about this, you scared I'm going to weaponize it by doing what? Pointing out how crazy this was, how evil it was, how ridiculous it was that you thought that some puberty blockers would fix what's going on upstairs in the person's brain, in their mind, in their emotions, in their spirit, in their soul. And you thought that these puberty blockers would be the answer to that? Absolutely not. Can y'all imagine if come on now. Can you imagine if I'm dealing with, I don't know, let's just throw something out there for the sake of being. Can you imagine if you are dealing with coping with the loss of a loved one? You so down, you so out, you so depressed, and they say, hey, we're going to give you some puberty blockers. It's not going to help the situation. I don't care what it is. If you're struggling with whether you are a boy or whether you are a girl, puberty blockers are not going to answer that question. I've said that for years. Anyway, let me go on. This says no change. No change isn't necessarily a negative finding. There could be a preventative aspect to it, she said. We don't know without the investigation. Erica Anderson, the clinical psychologist and transgender youth expert, told the Post she was shocked and disturbed about the decision to withhold publication of such vital research. We're craving information about these medical treatments for gender questioning youth. Dr. Olson Kennedy has the largest grants ever been awarded in the U.S. on the subject and is sitting on the data that would be helpful to know. It's not her prerogative to decide based on the results. that she will or won't publish them. She also wasn't buying Olson Kennedy rationale for holding back the study findings. I'm not either. She says, contrary to the scientific method, you do research and then you disclose what the results are. You can't sit there and say, well, I don't want to do it because I think that they... No, get the truth out, do the research, show us the results. Just like they want to talk about that Fauci, ouchie, hokey pokey clock shot right now. That all these kids that got that shot are not doing better than the kids that didn't. That's for another story, y'all. But anyway, I don't have to read any more on into this, ladies and gentlemen. You guys get the gist of all this that's going on. Plain and simple, these people do not want you to know the truth. They want to hide it from you because they know if they do, you are not going to allow your kids most likely to be on these things. It's not going to help them with their mental issues at all. Ladies and gentlemen, take your kids. You can take them to a psychologist, talk with them, get them support, get peers that will support them in what they have going on through. Talk with them, support them, console them, find out what's the root cause of why this is going on, because there is always a root cause. Despite of what these experts might try to tell you, there is a root cause as to why these kids are facing a lot of mental health issues. And I'm telling you right now, that's why the Bible said you shall know the truth and the truth will make you free. You guys are not being truthful to these kids, and that's why they continue to struggle. They're going to continue to do it until you actually lay out the truth to them. Let me know what you guys all think by leaving in the comments below after this video, making sure you do what this cloud is telling you to do right there, and I really would appreciate it. If you would like to see the next video that I would do in chronological order, it most likely will be up here. Things that I do as a variety on this channel will be right down here. I am Ty Smith, Modern Renaissance Man, hoping and praying that every last one of you have food, shelter, and clothing, and most of all, I pray every last one of you guys are in good health, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. God bless you all through Jesus.